referendum initiative, citizen.
Initiated by the citizens.
So exactly, explain to us how that started and actually what that is.
So, like in simple term, it's called a RIC, RIC. So referendum initiated by the citizens. It's a terminology that already exists in many places in the world. Like in Australia, they call it the CIR, citizen-initiated referendum. There's many expression of it in many countries. I think even in California and in America, they have a form of a referendum, but it's not exactly like the core essence of the RIC is the capacity from citizens to trigger national referendum from their own initiatives. So that's that simple idea. So referendum is when you ask the rest of the population to vote for an idea. So normally we are electing people to make decisions on our behalf, but what is new with this idea is that we can keep people in power, like they can actually be elected and they can keep their seat and be parliament or senators or whatever. But we want to have the power, the constitutional power to express our opinion, not in a peaceful and protesting way, but to impose that legally to the power in place. So like so far, the only people upset or disagreeing with this idea are people who think that people will be stupid enough to make stupid things. But the truth is that we all have common sense. Why? Because normal people are directly exposed to the mistakes that they're doing. And when they do something stupid, they get consequences and they learn from that perspectives. But when we're starting to study how the elite is operating, like the elites are doing really stupid things, but they don't learn about it because they have nothing to lose, because it's always the population which is paying for them. And this is actually defining a psychotic behavior. Like a psychopath is someone that basically is doing the same mistake over and over and over and over again and never learn from it because they never really get to face the consequences of its action. And this is what is creating that sensation of impunity that this elite is getting through, and never really learn anything because they never face the consequences of that. Like the only thing that they're facing is, oh, we're not going to be re-elected. Like after years and years and years, and now they're getting into a point where whoever is not re-electing, they're going to find ways to recycle them into whatever businesses in the private and in the public. So those people are really starting to create that kind of caste that is controlling the whole system. And we haven't yet realized that the only reason why those people are proliferating is only because we are powerless. We cannot stop them legally. Like, and that's such a simple statement to realize. Like the whole idea of the RIC is realizing that we have been programmed to be powerless constitutionally. The fact that in the constitution, we, the people, doesn't have a legal tool to stop the people in power, to control them if we want to, is the reason why no matter what we're going to do in the street, no matter how the Occupy, for example, movement were programmed to fail, is that they didn't make this analysis that if you're not changing the constitution and give the people the rights, the legal right to trigger a national referendum, then you will be condemned to be controlled by the people who just going to tell you what you have to do and what is good for you. And that's what the RIC is about. The RIC is about realizing that simple idea that we have been programmed to be powerless, not because we are powerless, because we are the power. We are the true power. The power doesn't come from the elite. The elite most of them couldn't even cook an egg, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
The true power is coming from us. We are the people making the value, creating exchange, producing value. And the fact that we do not have our word to say except going through our representatives says a lot about what we can do.